I went into the Army at the age of 17. I was still in high school when I signed up. They would have a delayed entry program. So I signed up. I still had to wait 200 something days when I graduated and I left. Coming from a big family, you know, the parents couldn't afford college. So try to find a humdrum job or go into the military and see if they can help. I didn't just join the military for the way out, wait for financial assistance. It was like my calling. Yeah, like a priest to a church. I want to do my part, you know. And during that time, I think Desert Storm was just happening. You know, I wanted to serve my country. You take a test. I believe it's called the ASFAB test, and you get a grade on it. And once you pass it, they take that score and they send it to the MEPS station. I don't know the nomenclature, but you get a schedule to go to the MEPS, and what that is a huge building. For mine, it was in Boston, and there's one test after the other, you know, the bubble tests. Then you go through one of the biggest physicals I had in my life. All types of blood work, all types of x-rays. You strip down to your underwear in a room full of other guys, and they see how you walk, they check all your joints, and then more tests. It's an all-day affair. And at the end of the day, you meet up with the recruiter, and he drove us back to Worcester. Right towards the end, you sit down with another soldier, and you pick what jobs are available. I wish I knew this back then. So there was 5 jobs portrayed out in front of me: a tanker, a scout, a cook, or a mechanic, or something like that. You get to see videos on what they're all on. I didn't want to see what a cook or mechanic was, so I picked a cavalry scout. They offered 2 different types of college assistance. The Montgomery GI Fund and the GI Bill is what they were. So if I was smart, I would have picked a job that I wanted to do, not on their list, and go to other schoolings like the Airborne Air Assault. But, you know, a 17-year-old kid didn't know. I hopped on an airplane to Louisville, Kentucky. A big old bus picked us up to Fort Knox, Kentucky, where all my training was together. OSET, 1 unit station training. It wasn't just a basic. Then I got to go home and go to AIT. It was all together for 17 straight weeks, right? August through December. So I got the heat of Kentucky and the winter of Kentucky. Got a little break after that, and during that time, that's when the war ended, Desert Storm. So they cut me orders to Schweinfurt, Germany. So I came home for the holidays for 2 weeks, and the first unit station was in Germany. There was conflict going on at that time with the genocide in Yugoslavia between the Croats, the Serbs, and the Muslims. So, and we were pretty close to the Czechoslovakian border. We actually were on alert 2 or 3 times, and actually they call it railhead, middle of the night, MPs knock on your door. My 2 years in Germany, we lived out of a bag, or military gear. We load all that up, go to the motor pool, get our Bradley, and load up our Bradley onto trains, getting ready to go into another country, but we never did. Probably the best time in the Army I ever had was 2 years over there. Met a lot of good people, a lot of friends of mine. I thought the Army would be just like it was, more as in being in Germany, because we trained all the time. I mean, we went to the field for a month at a time. You know, we had fired all the weapons, wore all the gear. It was nothing but training in my specific job. When I returned to Fort Knox, it was opposite. It was a support role. I hated it. Had I known what I was getting into, I would have extended into Germany longer than the 2 years. I wanted to do things. I wanted to jump out of airplanes. I wanted to blow shit up. I wanted to be the elite soldiers, not just a humdrum soldier like that's what we all were when we came back to Fort Knox. All my training stopped, and it was showing other soldiers how to be trained, like the wannabe lieutenants, the NCOs moving up, this, that, and the other thing. So, and that's all we did. So I try to be all I can be. One of the military slogans, I signed up for all types of schools. I signed up to go to Airborne, Air Assault, Ranger, and Special Forces assessment. And every time the orders got kicked back, rejected. We have no money, we have no money. Let the real poor taste in my mouth. When you have about 6 months left on your enlistment, you get reached out from a retention NCO. The only thing that he ever offered me was Hawaii, station of choice. I told him to stick up his ass and I was done. After I got out of the military and I was bartending, I went to college here in Indiana at one university for a year. I stopped going to school because life happened. You start a family, start a job, and another kid comes along. Time just wasn't there. But eventually took a class here, took a class there, took a class there, and then 19 years later, all those classes added up. I'm very proud of to complete the military service and be called a veteran and college. Something I promised my mom that I'd do, and I finished it while she was still alive. So my mom knew I graduated. So that was very fulfilling and rewarding to me.